sales and tell you that, okay, as per us, as per our GST, this is the total purchases, this is the total sales of your organization for this period, and the profit and loss is so much. And they will reconcile that with your audited statement of accounts. And if the two profits do not tally, you are asked for an explanation, which you have to give in a reconciliation statement. Why did they not tally? Okay, you will say depreciation was there, so depreciation is out of purview of GST. So that is one expense which I had claimed there. Salaries and wages is there, that is out of GST. What else? Maybe you had forgotten to file some reverse charge mechanism invoices. So that they will not say it is an expense for you. So all these are going to create problems. If you are not trapping your data right from day one, if you feel that why should I take the border of reverse charge mechanism, you will realize it only next 31st December. Okay. So that's the finality of things, that ultimately all this will have to match with your income tax returns, your audited financial statements, etc. There is a requirement for auditors also that they will have to audit your statements. How they are going to match is again, because under one PAN you may have multiple states, as we had discussed. Each state will be a different GSTN number. Maybe they will compile those GSTN numbers together and give you, because it is PAN based ultimately. They are adding the state code to it to get you your GSTN number. So finally they will tell you that, okay, as per us, this is the totality of your company's profitability, and you match and let me know which unit had not reported what. So that's aggregate turnover greater than 1 crore, submission of audited annual accounts and reconciliation statement duly certified by the auditors also. So this is why the profit is different from your books of accounts profit. Okay. Let's look at just normal regular taxpayers. They will have to file a GSTR 1, 2 and 3 every month per registration. And this was again explained. So in all, and one annual return before 31st of December. So in all, 37 returns to be filed per registration per annum. This is the bare minimum that everybody will have to do, because everybody will have sales and purchases. Okay. Details of outward supplies, GSTR 1. Details would have to be uploaded by the 10th of the month. GSTN name, GSTN number, name, year, month, gross turnover in previous financial year. And for all B2B supplies, the invoice level information is to be given. And we are now looking at the contents of each return. So you will have GSTN number of the person to whom you are selling to, invoice number, date, value, goods or service, whether it's a goods or service, the HSN or SSC code, what is the taxable value, what is the rate of tax, and the amount of IGST, CGST, SGST, what is the place of supply, and if there is a GST number of the e-commerce operator, you have to give that. So that was one section of B2B type of sales that you make. Then B2C sales. So all B2B supplies that you are making, interstate, and value is more than 2.5 lakhs, you have to give invoice level information. Otherwise, all other B2C supplies, state-wise summary. State-wise means, although he is a customer, you have to capture which state he is from. So each state-wise, how much business, all those people who are coming into your hotel, to whom you are making sales, you have to know which state at least he is coming from. Okay. Then you have details of supplies attracting reverse charge, which has to be filed. Details of advances received against a supply to be made in future. So that is as we discussed about advances. Details where such prior advances are now adjusted against invoices. Exports, including deemed exports. The export code is come in through a recent amendment. Details of revisions in outward supply invoices of past tax periods. Details of modifications, corrections of errors in the return submitted earlier. All those are also permissible up to a level, and you have to enter your invoice number. So as I said, you had put in a wrong invoice number, the supplier had put in a wrong invoice number or whatever. Now that mismatch which had happened maybe in this month, as we have not done the correction, it can be carried forward. So that will now come under details of modifications and corrections of errors in the return submitted earlier. So that is another part of the return which will be filled up. Then details of debit notes, credit notes. Again here, whenever you are issuing a debit note or a credit note, your original invoice number and date has to be provided. That this is the original invoice against which this debit note is now taken into consideration. And again here, reverse charge invoices are separate, normal invoices are separate. Now there is also has to be a reason for issue of a debit note or a credit note. So this is reason is another thing which has come up. Whether they are going to give us a reason master that these can only be the reasons, or you can type in your own, I am not clear. Then details of nil rated, exempted and non-GST supplies. Summarize information. Interstate, intrastate, registered or consumer. So whatever you have supplied liquor, they will want state-wise as well as whether you are doing it to B2B or to a end user, you have to give them summarized total information. So that was non-GST. Similarly for exempted. Similarly for nil rated. Then supplies made through e-commerce portals of other companies. And now this is another important aspect that you have to look at. Serial numbers of all invoices issued during the period. You have to give your invoice series. This is my series. Under that series, what was the from number and the to number in this month. So for every outlet, now you are going to have a different series, maybe alphanumeric, whatever you will have. So within that, the from number, to number, and the total number of invoices in that month. Number of cancelled invoices, and therefore the net number of issued invoices. Okay? This is the level of information that has to be there in your return. And finally, you need an HSN SSE summary of outward supplies. So they want summarized information HSN code wise or SSE code wise, the description of that item, unit of measurement, quantity, and the nature of supply, whether it is interstate B2B, intrastate B2B, interstate B2C, intrastate B2C, or exports. So this again is a summarized, this again is as per some latest amendments which have come in. Summary of outward supplies will also have to be filed by you. So this is GSTR 1. Okay, this is two more things which are now come in. This is details of inputs and capital goods removed for job work and again received back. So these are two more tables added to the return formats. So this ends GSTR 1. Would you all like to have a look at how a GSTR 1 looks like? I'll take you to that. So this is form GST. Okay, how do I get that? GSTR 1, details of outward supplies. So you will fill in your GST number, the name of taxable person, aggregate turnover of the taxable person the previous financial year, and for which month and year you are filing this return. Going further, table number 5, taxable outward supplies to a registered person. So this is that B2B information which we talked about. Okay. So what do you have to file? The GST number of the person to whom you are making supplies, your invoice number, invoice date, value, whether it's goods or services, the HSN SSE code, taxable value. And if it is IGST, the rate and amount, or if it is CGST, SGST, the rate and amounts of that. Place of supply, indicate whether it is reverse charge, whether tax on this has been paid under provisional assessment, and GST number of e-commerce portal. So this is table number 5. 5A is amendments to details of outward supplies to a registered person of an earlier tax period. Okay. So if there was some changes which you now need to make of some mistakes made by you of earlier tax periods, in this month you will file it under 5A. So what was the original invoice number and date? What is the revised invoice number and date which you are doing, and put in the details over there. So that becomes 5A. 6 is taxable outward supplies to a consumer where place of supply is other than the state where supplier is located, and the invoice value is 2.5 lakhs. So basically interstate supplies more than 2.5 lakhs, you have to put in the recipient state code number, name of recipient, invoice details, and the IGST charge. Here actually they are just asking IGST, whereas in our case we will have to actually charge CGST, SGST only. So there is something which will create problems for us. 6A is amendments to that. 7 is taxable outward supplies to consumer other than 6 above. So if it is less than 2.5 lakhs, here they are not asking for the parties on the above, they are asking for the party's name and address also. Here they are asking for only goods and services and HSN code wise, the state of supply wise, total figures, aggregate taxable value and aggregate number of taxes. But aggregate means not one line, HSN code wise and state wise. Okay. Amendments to that. Details of debit note, credit notes. GSTN number of the recipient, type of note, what was the debit note, credit note, number and date, original number and date, differential value plus or minus, and the differential amount of tax in IGST, CGST, SGST. Okay. Other than reverse charge and for reverse charge separately. Amendments to the debit note, credit note. So all this will mean that you have to amend your systems also. See that when you are passing a debit note, credit note, you put in your invoice numbers correctly. So only they will be able to file these returns at the end of the month. Then comes table number 9, which is nil rated, exempted and non-GST outward supplies. So goods and services wise, you need to give different. Here at least HSN code is not there, but goods or services. Interstate B2B, intrastate B2B, interstate B2C and intrastate B2C. And what are the nil rated, exempted and non-GST supplies that you have made. So that is the summary which is required. Exports done by you, if any. Amendments to that. Tax liability arising on account of time of supply without issuance of invoice. In short, it means advances. Okay. So here amount of advance received, give a GSTN number, state code, document number, that is your advance you have accounted under which number, what receipt voucher number you have accounted for, date, goods and service, HSN code, and the tax that you are giving as a liability for that, for the same. A transaction ID would be generated by the system for each transaction on which tax is paid in advance or on account of time of supply. So this is the transaction ID which should be generated by GSTN once you finish filing this month's return. And amendments to that, if any. Then table number 12 is tax already paid on such advance receipt. So now you will say that, okay, in this month I had an invoice. Against that, now I am saying the transaction ID which was of the earlier advance and how much of tax now I am adjusting against that. And supplies made through e-commerce portals of other companies. So this is supplies made through e-commerce portals of whatever different e-commerce operators are there who are giving you business, that will have to be entered through here. So you will have an invoice number, date, there is some concept of a merchant ID which I am still not clear exactly who is going to issue me. A GSTN of the e-commerce portal, and as per the latest amendment, the GSTN number of the end consumer also has to be given here. Okay. Sorry. So supplies made through e-commerce portals to unregistered person, that is B2C now. Okay. Amendments to that. And finally is invoices issued during the tax period from including invoices issued in case of inward supplies received from unregistered persons. That means the invoices that I am creating on behalf of my unregistered suppliers, for them I will have to create invoice number series also. So including those, I have to report for each series of number of invoices from and to, total number of invoices, cancelled invoices, net number of invoices issued. Also be careful that if this month ends on invoice number 365, next month should start from 366. Okay, so that becomes GSTR1. Let's now move on to GSTR2. This is the details of inward supplies, that is my purchases. So bulk of the details would be auto-populated and reconciliation would have to be done with our records. There might be details which are not matching, we had discussion on that, missing or extra. All of the above would have to be reconciled and finally filed. Purchases from unregistered dealers attracting reverse charge would have to be added. GSTN number, name, year, month, all the details of the B2B transactions as well as unregistered person attracting reverse charge, these are the details. Then details of revisions and inward supply of past tax periods, imports, here now port code also has to be mentioned, imports of services differently and import of goods and capital goods separately. Details of debit notes, credit notes, and along with original invoice number and reason for issue, amendments thereon, details of compounding, unregistered, exempted, nil rated, non-GST supplies. So this is now from my purchase that we are talking about. Whatever purchases we have made from such suppliers, aggregate information has to be given. Then ISD credit received by me. There again, their document details is required, and GSTN number of original supplier is also now required. TDS credit received, TCS credit received, tax liability under reverse charge on account of time of supply, that is advances, and ITC reversal. If at all I am reversing any input tax credit, we had discussed about goods damaged or whatever, which I am not using in furtherance of my business. So I will have to do ITC reversal. So this again will have to be done. So for which I have to trace back the invoices, find out against that, put in the GSTN number of the supplier, who had supplied that material, which bottle has been broken by my staff, put in these details and say that this was the rate of tax which I had paid on that, and accordingly I am now reversing that. Details of invoices on which payment has not been made within 6 months and ITC taken added as output tax. Details of invoices which are now for which now payment has been made. And finally, HSN SSE summary of inward supplies. So HSN code wise, for every code, you have to give the description of that item, the unit of measurement, quantity, nature of supply, whether it is interstate B2B or intrastate, interstate B2C, and imports. So this level of information again has to be compiled by you every month, and by the, because this is not going to be done by your populated GSTR. This information is to be fed in by you. So all this information should be coming out from your systems to enable you to file that. So I don't know how much time I have. Do you want to look at the GSTR2 also? Okay. So this is form GSTR2. Details of inward supplies, purchases received from registered taxable persons, including supplies from unregistered person. So GST number, invoice number, date, value, whether it's goods or services, HSN code, SSE code, taxable value, IGST, CGST, SGST, then the place of supply, eligibility of ITC as inputs of whether it is eligibility as capital goods or services, etc. you have to mention, and what is the total tax available as input tax credit. So this is the tax paid by you, this is the tax that you are claiming as a credit, and ITC available this month. This will be self-populated based on what the supplier has filled in. That this is available to you. What are you claiming? Okay. So auto-populated and not auto-populated, that is claimed. And supplies attracting reverse charge, again you will have to fill in these details again. So that was table 4. Table 4A is amendments to the details. Table 5 is goods and capital goods received from overseas, that is imports. So for every import that you do, what is the bill of entry number? Now there is also a port code which has to be filled in. I'll rush up a bit. So that's the import requirements. I'll be emailing you to my PowerPoint presentation as well as the formats if you want. Okay. So that's amendments. Then services received from a supplier located outside India, that's imports. Details of credit notes, debit notes. So your GST number, etc., the original invoice, differential value, eligibility, total tax. Again, ITC available because that other person had filled in or not. Amendments to the details. This now is the supplies received from composition tax payable persons, unregistered person, other exempted, nil, non-GST supplies. So here you have to show interstate and intrastate supplies of all unregistered taxable persons, or exempted supplies, or nil rated, or non-GST supplies. So whether bought from the same state or intrastate, intrastate, same state or interstate, that you have to work out, give them summarized information. And ISD credit received, TDS credit received, TCS credit received. Okay. So this is basically written in form 2. There is ITC reversal also on what I am not claiming. So let's again go back to the presentation. Then you have the monthly return. So the bulk of the details would be auto-populated. Your turnovers would be populated. Details of outward supplies and the tax liability that is getting generated would be populated out there. Your details of inward supplies and the ITC available based on your GSTR2 would be populated. Now you have to work out your total tax liability based on certain parameters which I explained, how much TCS credits you can take, how much TDS is available, TCS is available. And then you have to say that how much tax payments you are now making by way of debit to your cash ledger. Cash ledger means what you are actually paying, or by debit into your credit ledger. So technically at your GSTN portal, there will be 3 ledgers. There will be a liability ledger, there will be a cash ledger, and there will be a credit ledger. Whatever payments you are making will go into the cash ledger. Whatever input tax credits you are getting availed of will go into your credit ledger. Whatever is the liability based on whatever returns you are filing will go into your liability ledger. These 3 ledgers again broken up into IGST, CGST, SGST separately. And then now in this month, how you are claiming your tax payments to be adjusted, within which has to be certified by you. So that again requires application of mind so that you don't lose out something later on. Maybe in this month you have to run some capital purchases, some heavy stuff from let's say some outside the state entity, a big boiler or something, you get some huge input tax credit. Whether you want to use it up in this month itself or let that credit remain to be utilized later or whatever. I mean, you have to take decisions on how to use up your credit also. And then what are you claiming back as a refund? Because you have paid extra GST. Then comes the annual return part. So the bulk of the details will be auto-populated. Details of expenditure, purchases of goods, services, imports, sales returns, other expenditures. So all this would be an annual return part of it. Details of income would be populated. Return reconciliation statement, as we discussed, that will have to be filed and compared with your profit and loss statement. So this basically ends the returns part of it. Questions, if any, we can take up later. Then we have the transition provisions. As on the day when your GST regime starts, less than 40 days to go now, technically. So a lot of preparation to be done beforehand. Stocks are then the go live date. All the stocks in hand which you are having, and this stocks doesn't mean just your running stocks. If you have purchased some, as I said, some year stocks credit, what are you going to get? Your excise duty or your CVD based on the purchase of the last 1 year, if you have not, because you have not got credit against excise duty. So if you have made a purchase from a manufacturer, the excise duty which you had paid on that, you can claim credit of that once the GST regime starts. But you need to have that taxable excise paid invoice in your hand, and you have to, there is a trans 1 return format which is not yet given by GST, but that has to be claimed within 2 months from the date of go live. So within 2 months, obviously you will not get in the first month. Within 2 months is the date on which, because they have not yet released the form still.